Hey everybody, this is Frankie Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report. I wanted to talk a little bit about facial recognition and this it's an additional mark of the beast, if you will, that's being introduced by Apple, and the potential abuses that could come from this as the government, as corporate America, can utilize this as a form of spying on us. I'm not even going to get into the whole hacking aspect. You know, they first came out with the finger part on here, and I never did it, the fingerprint, and the hackers were able to get through that. And what if the hackers are able to penetrate and bypass the facial recognition, and they get into your Apple Pay and every other aspect that you have within your Apple phone? And so this new phone came out, the Apple 10, and you know, it makes me skeptical. It makes me it concerns me when you talk about this facial recognition that's being offloaded so that they can sell to third parties. A lot of times this data isn't even stored. It's stored by a third party or on a cloud where it can be hacked. So you got this facial ID, this tool, this facial recognition that can go out and identify individuals, and you can use it to unlock your phone. Is it indeed a mass spying, a mass privacy concern that's we should be concerned about? You got these retailers out there, and they want facial recognition. They want to be able to, as soon as you come in the store, be able to get your face on there. And then they can query that with all the data. They can say, okay, that's Frank walking in. This is a lot of interest Frank has based upon Google, based upon Facebook, and based upon all this third-party data that has been sold to us. We can target cells. You know, it's almost futuristic where you're walking and you see, what is it, Minority Report. He's walking and cells come up. Hey, David Johns, and would you like to go here? Would you like to do this? And that's how they want to utilize that facial recognition. And they do a good job at illustrating it in Minority Report. They want to monitor the consumer out there. You know, and they'll do it legally, because they'll have it in their terms and you'll sign off on it and you won't read it. And even if you do read it, you want the product so much that you'll still move forward with it. And then they'll take that data and they sell it to others. And I know most people will sit there and say, oh, come on, give me a break, guy. It's a minor thing. What's the big deal? But the big deal is the ramifications on this and the enormous ramifications that will come with stuff like this. And we're already dropping our guard on many things. Even on cameras, a lot of people nowadays accept the fact that they have a camera viewing them and their every move wherever they go. With the old saying, I'm not doing anything wrong, what's the big deal? And like I always say, great, let me set up a camera with you going in the shower every day if it's not a big deal, right? So in this whole police state mentality, you know, I just said police state, but if you think about it, and it reminded me of an article. You know, right now the biggest issue, I think it was the FBI had to pay out something like $2 million to hack the iPhone because they couldn't get into it. There was some kind of issue, the privacy issue. But now they can take a criminal, they can take their iPhone, they can just point at them, do a facial recognition, and gain access right into all that data. Most people might say, well, that's great. You got a drug dealer, I want that data. But you got to think beyond that. If they can do it to that individual, they can do it to you. And so you always got to think about that beyond, oh, that guy's a bad guy. Sure, it's okay to do that to him. Do you think the government is just going to stop there? And this is just another form of government surveillance, big corporation surveillance, where they'll go out there, they do this mass scanning to identify people based upon their profiles. And I know for a fact, there's many articles out there that police are already utilizing this to their advantage. If you think about it, 1 in 2 American adults out there have already enrolled in some form of law enforcement facial recognition network that is out there. At least 1 in 4 police departments have the capability to run facial recognition searches. And so, you know, one thing is, I know that this will make Apple a target of a lot of the mass surveillance that's out there, and you'll get the police state wanting to go in there and trying to grab this, obtain this information. Now, Apple has a record of trying to fight it, but in the end, it's going to end up in their hands. And they're not the only ones. You know, you got Facebook. Facebook's got their facial recognition programs that are out there. They don't maintain it, I don't believe. I believe it's on a separate operating system or a cloud out there, wherever that third party keeps it, which is scary enough. But Apple's new system, they say it's going to change that. And for the first time, they'll be able to take this facial recognition system with millions of profiles everywhere, scan it, identify the people anywhere in the world. According to Wired out there, I was reading this article. It said that it's only ripe for abuse. And I agree, it's ripe for abuse, where you got the government coming in. They could say, hey, we want the instructions, how to get into all this information, how to target people with these facial IDs. Apple could provide it. They could try to fight it. And government's already looking into how can we benefit from this facial recognition, and then the whole consumer aspect. Now, some people might sit there and say, well, that's great. When I walk into Target, they do my facial recognition. They pull all my Google, all my Facebook, all my activities. They do the algorithm. And as I walk, signs pop up saying, hey, Susie, we got a sale on cheesecakes today because you love cheesecakes. And they think that's a great idea. But it's another intrusion into your privacy. And it's an intrusion. They were talking about it, how much we give up just so the comfort and convenience of this phone, and how so many of us are addicted to it. And all the privacy, all the information that we give up, from the individuals that say, hey guys, I'm going out of town. I'm going to Switzerland for 2 weeks, as they're bragging about it. And Joe Criminal's sitting there looking, thinking, oh, cool. You're going to Switzerland for 2 weeks. Let me go visit your house while you're gone. But this is, and along the lines of government, it's just another tool they have out there. And they've been doing this for a while. And we all learned that with Snowden's evidence that he released, with the whole FISA court, the Section 702, and all that good stuff. And this whole mass facial recognition scanning scheme is almost unconstitutional if you think about it. It violates human rights in an umpteenth degree. But there's no way to stop it. And there is nothing to try and stop this overreach that we see. You're going to see more of it with the government, the overreach into our privacy, as they try to pursue better methods to try to increase their ultimate goal, which is a mass surveillance of the masses, of the individuals. You're going to continue to see more and more of this with consumerism, with when you see the corporations out there trying to see what they can get from the consumers already. And on my radio show I used to do, we did a test, and you could sit there and talk with your iPhone and have a conversation about going out and buying baseball gloves or something like that. Next thing you know, we're picking up the iPhone and advertising for baseball gloves that are showing up on our phone. These things are always listening. The monitor up there on my computer, Edward Snowden revealed how they can access that and just watch you. And you won't even know it's on. And they can do the same on your iPhone. And this isn't conspiracy stuff. 60 Minutes illustrated with your iPhone how they can tap into it and watch you, can grab your data. Smart TVs, they say right in their clause, they can watch you, and they can listen to you and take your data. And gradually and slowly, we're allowing all this to slip out. And we got to wake up. It's time to wake up. It's time to smell the coffee, unless you want this mass surveillance to continue. I'm not a fan. I'm not going to get this Apple 10. I don't want the facial recognition. Like I said, I don't even have the thumb thing on my iPhone. I refuse to do that. But a lot of people will buy into it, and they'll continue to make money. They'll continue to delve into your private lives. And how do you feel about that? That's the question today. How do you feel about this new step with Apple? This has been Frankie Abbruzzino with The Scoop News.